everyone, Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters. So I am very honoured to be participating in this YouTube hop. It is run by Virginia from Gold Dove Crafts, and she is the owner of the COAPA cut files shop on Etsy, Confessions of a Paper Addict. She also has her own Facebook group, so make sure you jump on board with that. That's linked down below. She is having an amazing week of challenges and competitions with awesome prizes to be won. So I highly recommend that you jump on over to that Facebook group that I have linked down below and participate. And head on over to her Etsy shop as well to check out all of her amazing cut files that she designs. There is a welcome code, which is welcome 10. That is valid for a week, so until the 31st of this month. I've got an image of that coming up really soon just to remind you in case you forget. So on to what I am doing. I actually live recorded this, as you can tell by my hands going on and on and on, but the background noise was just horrendous that I've had to come and do a voiceover. So I'm sorry, my hands really don't count with what I'm talking about at all, but that's okay, no big deal. So I have cut this super gorgeous dinosaur cut file, and I am going to be backing this cut file in 4 different ways, just so I can show you a variety of ways that you can use a cut file when using them on a layout. You can do what I'm going to do and mix it up within one cut file, or you can just choose one of those to do at a time for each layout. This dinosaur one is a really good example because none of the areas are too small or too fiddly, so I can use a variety of different ways of doing this. Some cut files it's best just to stick with the really simple first way, which I will show you, because they're a little bit fiddly and there's a little bit going on. So this cut file is also brilliant as well because the inside pieces of the dinosaurs that you can see over there on my right, they can be saved and used for another layout. I possibly might use them in this layout, but I think they're going to be too large to embellish with. They're going to be too large for what I've got planned. So I am going to get started. I won't actually record the filling, the backing of this process because it takes me quite a bit of time, but I am going to get started on this. If you are interested in hopping along to see everyone else's videos, there are like 20 people participating in this hop, so they are all linked down below. There are links to their channels down below, so please pop on over and check them out. Like, subscribe, just say good day to us. We'd love to see and meet you all. And yeah, definitely pop on over to the Confessions of a Paper Addict Facebook group and participate in some challenges to win some awesome prizes. There are 8 challenges, 8 prizes, 4 on the spot challenges that are just like little quick games with prizes for that, open internationally. Just everyone come and join in. Let's go. So as I mentioned, I have got the welcome code here, so use the code welcome10 to get 10% off your purchase at the Etsy shop, and that's valid until the 31st of March. So I'm back. I'm still live here, but again, I have doing the voiceover because of my background noise. I'm just showing you this glitter foam. I buy it in really huge sheets. It's like $2.50 from a cheap shop here in Melbourne, and I think the shop's called Casa Home or something like that. And I cut it into tiny strips, and I have backed it around nearly all of the cut file here because I really wanted to pop this cut file up for some of the things that I am creating. If you're doing a shaker pocket, you'll definitely need to do this. But you need to make sure you stick the acetate on first. So you can see there that I've got the acetate down, and then I've got the foam. So the acetate is stuck directly to the back side of the cut file, and then the foam is on top of that as well, just in case you're new to that. There's a couple I've left without foam, and I will show you and explain that to you really soon. So I am going to jump ahead now to my finished product, my finished cut file. So here we are. As you can see, I stuck with 3 basic colors, red, green and orange. So that is an example of where I have cut the paper, stuck the paper straight to the cut file. This orange one is an example of where I've stuck paper straight to the foam so that there is a little bit of a shadow. This is a little shaker pocket. And then I've also got a fringe shaker pocket, not a shaker pocket, a fringed pocket as well, that I've also stuck directly to the foam. So you can see that there are 4 different ways of backing your cut file. You can make a shaker pocket, you can do some fringing inside there, you can just stick it straight on, which is the most simple and easy way of doing that. So the way I did it is I cut my chunks of paper, like my sections of paper. I glued those on. With the fringing, I made the fringe into one big piece. So I stuck the light blue to the dark blue to the darker blue to the darkest blue and made one big piece. And then I glued it on. Then I actually weighted it down with books and left it all to dry overnight. When I came back in the morning, I then just got scissors and cut all the way around the edge, and any of the tricky bits I just cut with a Stanley knife. You will have seen Virginia do that quite regularly with the way that she does her cut files, where she cuts out sort of a basic shape that will fit the back of a cut file, glue it on, and then cut around it. So I am nearly using the Simple Stories Little Dude collection. It's super cute. It's the first time I've pulled this collection out and I love it. So what I'm doing first is just slathering my cut file with glue and just getting a bit more of that sparkly foam. Look, it would be ideal if this foam wasn't sparkly. It is a little bit tricky to glue with the sparkles, but it was the best I had at the moment, so I'm just rolling with it. I also need to apologize in advance. I'm having massive glue issues today. You can see that one was a little bit excessive, and then when I get my next bottle with the finer tip, it's like it's clogged, but it's not. It's just not coming out. So glue issues, but we get there. So I am putting some foam behind each of these dinosaurs. I'm not putting too much foam because I know I want to tuck a couple of bits and bobs underneath, but I'm not sure where or how or what yet. So I just want to make sure it's popped up in the center so that it's at least not going to get weighted down when I start adding things. Now, because I've put foam on everything, there are a few dinosaurs that, if you remember, I glued directly to the cut file. I didn't put that foam shadow behind. So they will need 2 pieces of foam to make them the same height as everything else. I really hope that makes sense. So that's why I'm adding this second piece of foam now on top of the 3 dinosaurs that, yeah, were backed on the cut file the normal way, the standard way, by just gluing it straight to the paper. So there we go, sticking that on. And I conveniently leave that to dry just for like 5 minutes while I put my little boy to bed. Actually, no, I'm not putting him to bed. Don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing something with him, which is kind of good because it just gives that, because there was so much glue there, it gives it that little bit of a chance to go tacky. So these are the 2 gorgeous photos I'm using. I did back the photo. So the photos I printed on my Canon Selfie and just did that with the border setting. So the border's included on the photograph, the white border. So I just put a really thin layer of sort of this greeny yellow color paper that I just had in a scrap bin to literally within arm's reach. So I just grabbed that and used that. All of the papers I have used within the dinosaurs are random from my scrap bin, so I'm not sure what they all are. And those 2 succulent plants are from an older reject shop collection. Then the rest I'm pretty certain. No, I'm telling you, the rest of what I use is the Little Dude collection. So just going to pop up my photos there. They have to be popped up because I want them on top of the cut file, and the cut file has been popped. They must be popped. This white foam that I'm using is a little bit thicker than the blue foam, so that's going to work well with sticking these on, which is good. I'm not actually sticking the photo itself to the cut file at all. It doesn't really need to. Just doing those sort of random corners with the sticky foam to the paper is working fine, which is good for me. So I must confess, I did sort of plan this layout a little bit before getting started, so some of the decision-making process I have already done. That's why these footprints have already been cut, because I decided I wanted footprints. Because I'm running a little bit late with getting this video up and going in time for the hop, so I had to be very organized. So just, yeah, so if you're thinking, wow, she just knows what she wants to do straight away, that's why. Some of it I'm making up as I go, obviously you would, but sort of the basic idea of, I already had an idea of where I was going to put the photos, and I already knew I wanted these footprints, and I already have my title organized in front of me, stuck on a piece of acetate, ready to come onto the page. So just the sort of the more difficult fiddly things I've already kind of got in my head, and then because I'm just using one full collection, it also makes it a lot easier as well, because I'm pretty much only pulling the dinosaur things off of that collection and sticking with that, so that's making it a lot easier. And I have the whole collection, so I've got a mixture of puffy stickers, chipboard, normal stickers, as well as, sorry, shaking the camera, as well as the ephemera pack. So a little bit of everything. So you can see there, this title is called Thomassaurus Rex. Silly story. My parents had just come to visit, and they were in the car driving back to the country where they live. It's about a 3-hour drive. And so I texted Mum, and I'm like, Mum, I'm trying to think of a pun, a dinosaur pun title for this layout, because she knew I was doing this. And I said, I was thinking something to do with explore raw, explore raw. But I couldn't work out how you would spell that, EXPLOROAR. I don't know, I couldn't work that one out. Then, dynamite or dinerific. I couldn't work it out. And Mum apparently read this text out loud to Dad, and Dad goes, Thomassaurus Rex? I'm like, that is awesome. So I sent them a finished photo when I finished this layout, and Dad's like, oh, what? Can't believe she used that title. I was just being silly. I'm like, well, you might have been being silly, Dad, but I thought it was great. So Thomassaurus Rex it is. Sorry, just a little bit of anecdote there. I realised I need a little bit more foam underneath the head over here. And so I stick it down, and then realised that needs a double piece of foam. So I need to put another one in under there as well. I really loved that banner over on the right-hand side, Let the World Hear You Roar. There's a lot of roaring on this page. At first, I was a little bit unimpressed that they spell roar differently, especially because it's from the same collection. Like, you'd think, I don't really get it. Like, you'd think, if you're going to design a collection, wouldn't you spell raw the same way? Oh, yeah, I don't understand. But anyway, I'm just choosing to not focus on that. I would probably spell it ROAR, just saying. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Moving on. Oh, yeah, that's right. It needs another piece of foam under there. Silly me. Get onto that. I couldn't work out why it wasn't like the same even, like it wasn't balanced, it wasn't the same height. I was like, that's why. That works now. Sorry. So what am I up to now? Oh, just another, I've got quite a few little clusters happening in this. 1, 2, 3, I think I'm going to have 5. Which is good. I do believe odd numbers a better way of working than even numbers. It's just a nicer balance for the eye. The photographs I've deliberately placed in that way because the one where Thomas is up and looking, he's looking out of the photo, and the one where he's down and reaching, he's looking into the photo. So they're kind of, it ends up looking like he's looking at each other, which kind of just draws your eye over to the photo. Because if I have it so he's looking away from the page, you don't really focus on what's happening on the right hand side. And I could have it so he's looking in towards the page, because then that would show you the photo and draw your eye to the rest of the page. But because I've got a face going one way and a face going the other way, I've put them so that they sort of face each other. Which also, I don't know if you've ever thought of this before, it also kind of makes a love heart. I don't know if I'm the only one that can see that. Like if you circle around his head and body that's facing into the page, and then around his head and body that's facing out of the page, and join those together, it kind of makes a love heart. Anyway, that might just be me. No one else might see that. No one else might even understand what I'm trying to say. But anyway, moving on. So I decided I wanted some stars sort of backing up my clusters. They were looking a little bit flat. So popping in some puffy stickers, some chipboard, and just ephemera heart. Sorry, not heart. Star. Sorry, I was trying to think of what the word for just a paper star is. The ephemera star, the embellishment pack star. I realize now that I have backed my cut file up off the page, which I'm really happy with, because I love the dimension that gives to the page. But it means everything I want to put on top of the cut file has to have double foam behind it, and I just keep forgetting. I keep putting single foam. Silly Billy. So it's all coming together reasonably easily, because I'm really not using that many embellishments. The cut file is very busy and has a lot going on, so I want it to kind of speak for itself. I certainly do still add quite a bit of colour and quite a lot of stuff to it, but I think that it's not too much. I hope it's not too much. It's a very colourful layout with all the stars and everything as well. I did originally try and stick with just sort of your green, orange and blue, but then when I wanted the stars, I started to add even more colours as well. But I think it works. I think it's just a nice, bright, colourful layout, but not too crazy. I hope that's what it is. That's what I was going for anyway. Let me see. So I am working on my last cluster, I do believe. So I've just got to do this cluster here under the photo, which I really like the cluster, but it's a little bit of a shame. I've pretty much covered those two green succulents that I'd put on right at the start. You can't really see them at all. So I wanted originally to sort of, have your little dinosaur living in the jungle. I don't know. Dinosaurs live in both, I guess, area. But I've now just added so much stuff onto the page that they've kind of got lost. But sometimes we do that, don't we? We layer, that original layer kind of is just a tiny little hint of colour underneath. But that's okay. I will also take some close-up photographs for you and pop those at the end of the video, just so you can see in a little bit more detail what's going on. Oh, that is a cute saying. I like that. I'm glad I found that. Imagination. That's exactly what we're doing when we do dinosaur play. And boys and their toys. Yeah, that is also true. Though he was far more interested in the bark than he was in his dinosaur toy. But that's all right. He's only little. And it looks like he's sitting up by himself, which, I mean, he technically is. He's leaning against that tree stump there. But it was like, Mum was here with me, and it was like, all right, ready, Mum? 1, 2, 3, let him go. Snap photo. Quick, grab him. Okay, 1, 2, 3, let him go. Snap the photo. Okay, quick, grab him. Before he falls over and face plants into the tan bark or something awful. The joys. So I'm done. Just tidying up my desk a little bit because I'm going to pull out the Heidi Shine. Sorry, that was a bit crazy for your eye. I was just checking that everything was like stuck down and the shaker pockets shaked and all of those things. So I've got some gold Heidi Shine that I'm going to splash on around my clusters. Just going to cover my photos because I really don't want those to get splatters on them. The good thing about the Canon Selfie is actually if you're quick, you can pretty much wipe the splatters off of those photos without causing any big dramas to your photo, but I didn't really want to risk it, so cover those up. So a bit of gold splashing. As I said, I'm just going to put those around the clusters, so the five clusters there. And then when I finish doing that, I think it still needs something else or a little bit more. So I actually pull out my blue Heidi Shine as well, which I think is technically called the teal. Here it is. And I'm starting to run out, so this one is getting a bit tricky to flick. I feel like nothing came out this first time. It's really causing me problems. But I eventually get it going. So there's not much. I'm just popping the splashes in the same 5 clusters as I said before. There's already a little bit of splash happening in the background paper. So I just want to keep doing that to just, I don't know, give it a little bit of something and finish off the layout. And so once this is done, I am complete. And this is my Thomassaurus Rex layout finished for you. So I've just got a few close-ups there. So while those are happening, I'll just remind you to check out the links down below. My sister and I both have a hop video, so make sure you check out both of those and check out the other people in our hop. Make sure you pop over to the Etsy shop to check out the cut files and go to the Facebook group as well. So thank you everyone for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.